Hi, this is Books with Brushu. I'm Jordan. I like to drink coffee and read books. And yes, I know this is not a coffee. This is a strawberry Waterloo. It is the middle of the afternoon. I just finished yard work, showered and washed my hair, and I wanted to treat myself to a spicy water. So that's the drink of choice today, right now. So welcome to my magical readathon reading vlog. If you tuned into my magical readathon spring Equinox TBR video, then you will already know the books that are on the TBR for today. Some of them are in other vlogs already. I've got the Strawberry Patch Pancake House in my spring reading vlog, which came out a couple of weeks ago. The books that we will be reading in this vlog are A Court of Thorns and Roses. And yes, I have already started this book. It's sitting in the living room and I didn't feel like going and grabbing it, so I've got the dust jacket here. This dust jacket is from A Touch of Magic Designs, and I love the artwork on these so much. Like, I love the artist so much. I just think these are great. So I went ahead and took the normal dust jackets off of my hardcovers, which I don't love. I don't love those covers. And I put these ones on and I like them much better. So we will be reading in this reading vlog, A Court of Thorns and Roses, All That Remains by Patricia Cornwell. So this is also part of my continuing series challenge. All That Remains is for my artificery class. A Court of Thorns and Roses is for alchemy and also spells and incantations. And then the final book that we will be reading in this vlog is Early Sunday Morning. And this is for Art of Illusion and Inscription. This is a rather short book and it's a reread for me. So is ACOTAR. But I'm super excited to jump into these books and to talk about them with y'all. I have started A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm about 100 pages into it right now. So we've just been introduced to Feyre and her sisters Nesta and Elaine and her father. Feyre is out hunting and she shoots a wolf. Her family is very poor and starving, and she is the sole breadwinner. She's the one who brings home the food because everyone else is too lazy to do it. And she supports her family and is keeping them alive. She shoots a deer and also shoots a wolf. Well, she can't bring both back. So she brings the deer back and she skins the wolf so that she can sell the hide. Apparently, that wolf was in fact a fairy. He was Fae. This other Fae, he appears to be a high Fae, follows his scent to Feyre's house, breaks down the door and says, hey, you killed a fairy. Per the treaty between the Fae and the humans, you must either die now or come back and live in Prythian and give Prythian the rest of your life. So cross the wall and come live in the Fae lands. She leaves her two sisters and her father behind to go to Prythian to live out the rest of her days there. Once she gets to Prythian, Tamlin, who's the guy that has come after her, and then we're introduced to Lucian. Lucian is the emissary for this lord. We don't know who he is yet exactly. Just that he is very powerful and very strong. She still feels a lot of guilt over leaving her family there to fend for themselves. She thinks that they're gonna die because there's no one to provide food for them anymore. Tamlin convinces her that he is actually taking care of the family, that they aren't starving, they're actually better off without her, and they're gonna be fine while she's gone. So don't try to escape, basically. Him and Lucian tell her that there's a blight in the area, in all of the Fae realms, that it's caused magic to change and magic is decreasing. And so there are a lot of really bad, scary creatures around who could kill her because they've escaped from where they were supposed to be basically imprisoned because the wards no longer work. Don't go out at night. You can go wherever you want to. You can leave if you want to. You don't have to stay here. You're not a prisoner, but don't leave at night because you'll get killed, basically. In the first 100 pages, she's still trying to get her footing, still trying to figure out what she's gonna do with her life other than sit around all day, walk around the grounds all day. She has no purpose. So we're still trying to figure that out, and also dealing with Tamlin and Lucian and trying to figure out who exactly they are and trying to get along with them and what is this world all about. So only 100 pages in, we're just at the surface of this. We're just at the surface. I love this series. The first book is my least favorite, but that's okay. It's a first book. It's an introduction. You have to lay the groundwork before you get into the real good stuff. We have started off with ACOTAR. I just got the audiobook for All That Remains. So as soon as I finish with my current audiobook, I will be picking this one up as well. So we will get into this one shortly. And then as soon as I finish ACOTAR, we'll jump into Early Sunday Morning, which will be a super quick read. I know these are like middle grade books, but I loved them so much when I was younger. So I hope that I still at least enjoy it, you know, for what it is. And I'm sure I will. Before we get too much into this video, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And I will check back in with you in a few days. All right, y'all, we are here for a Magical Readathon reading update. I am 75% of the way through A Court of Thorns and Roses. So it's been a little bit longer since I have updated you guys, but since so many people know what these books about, I really don't want to give too much away because I really think going in blind is like the best way to read a lot of books. Feyre is now under the mountain. She just got there and she is, I think, gearing up for her first trial. So, I mean, this is a reread, so I obviously know how it's gonna go, but I'm excited. I am remembering details that I have obviously forgotten. It's been like 6 years since I've read these books. Getting a good refresh of what's going on, all the little smaller details that I've forgotten over the years, and I just love being back in this world. We're getting more of Rhys, which I absolutely love and am so excited about. Plugging along in this, Feyre, she was living in the spring court for a while. Her and Tamlin fell in love and he sent her back home to protect her. Then she realized that he was in danger and she came back to save him. So that's where we're at. She's under the mountain trying to save everyone to lift this curse. So we're plugging along. We're getting through. I should finish this book by this weekend, which I'm really excited about. Then I also started All That Remains by Patricia Cornwell. This is the third book in the Kay Scarpetta series, and I am thoroughly enjoying these books. I'm so glad that I'm liking them more than I thought I would, which that's such a good thing because I've had these books on my shelves for so long. So I'm really, really glad that I'm enjoying them. In this book, we continue to follow Kay Scarpetta, who is the medical examiner in Richmond, Virginia. In this story, we're following several murders of a serial killer who kills these people and leaves their bodies in the woods, and they're not found for months and months and months. So they're skeletonized remains that are found, which if this is one of your first videos, first of all, welcome. I went to school for forensic anthropology, so I know a lot about bones, so I love reading about bones. We are following these murders, this series of murders. The most recent couple to be killed, the girl that's killed, her mom is a political figure, and so this book has turned political. So it's much more political than any of the ones in the past, and there's some controversy involved because the FBI is involved, the CIA, we don't really know what's going on. So we're getting that mysterious element as well. We've got people lying to Kay, her calling people out, being like, why are you lying to me? Why didn't you tell me this? Blah, blah. And then we're continuing to follow her personal life with this boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, we're not really sure what's going on. And so we're continuing to follow that story. We're also getting to know Marino a bit more, who is the detective in this book, the main detective who works with Kay, finding out more about his life. We're investigating a serial killer and trying to solve these murders and get to the end of it. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I just really enjoy this series and can't wait to finish this one and then get into the next one too. So that's my update for now. I will come back on and update when I'm done with A Court of Thorns and Roses and when I start my next book. To go with this Magical Readathon vlog, I am gonna add in some clips of me going book shopping today. So I'm driving down to Barnes & Noble and a couple of used bookstores that are about an hour and a half away from me because I live by nothing. Gonna take a little adventure, go there and do some book shopping. I do have a couple of books that I'm looking for. Well, really one in particular, which is Gold by Raven Kennedy. When I started buying this series, I didn't realize that the editions that have the kind of drippy gold spine paperbacks, I didn't realize those were a first run print thing. So I have all but that one book with that spine. So I've looked everywhere, and since it's the 5th book, like no one's selling it on like Pango or Mercari or Poshmark or anywhere, or even eBay or whatever. So I'm gonna go on the hunt and see if I can find it today. I really hope that I can. And just some general book shopping just to see what I find. Okay, so this is really cute, the front of the store here. Just wanted to show you guys what it looks like. Alright guys, so it's the next day. I am back from my book shopping trip, and I went to 1 Barnes & Noble and 3 used bookstores, which was a lot. And I have realized that I'm really bad at filming when I'm book shopping because I get so caught up and I just totally forget about it. So I have some clips which you obviously just saw, and I'm sorry that they're not great and very detailed. But I do have my coffee this morning. One of the used bookstores that I went to, they have a deal of buy 10 books, get 10 books for free. So essentially 50% off. One location, I did in fact get 20 books. And then at a different location, I got, I think 6, but they're all historical romance. Because they had a lot of historical romance used books and a lot of like police procedural, like David Baldacci and Clive Cussler and like those types used books. But a lot of the fantasy and like contemporary romance, those are all new. So I tried to just stick with the used books, and it ended up all being historical romance. I have a running list in my notes app from watching Christy Reads a Lot on YouTube. She reads a lot of historical romance, and we like the same books pretty much. Our reading styles are very similar, or reading preferences are similar. Basically, try to keep track of the books that she likes or the series that she likes. I was going like back and forth in the aisles, and I'm gonna try to organize these in alphabetical order by author, because I was like, okay, let's go to B. Oh wait, the next one on the list is T, and then S, and then M, and I'm like, oh my gosh, can you just like go from one aisle to the next instead of back and forth and back and forth? So I'm gonna try to organize that better because it was a lot yesterday. So I've got these arranged by author, and some of these, like, I don't know from the top of my head if they're in a series or what. It was kind of overwhelming, and I was just like picking out books that I thought I would like. So I got 2 by Shelley Thacker, Timeless and Into the Sunset. Now I think at least Timeless is part of one of her series that have been renamed. So that was kind of hard for me to find on Goodreads because these are the first editions. So I got these 2 by Shelley Thacker, and then I got 2 by Nicole Jordan. I got The Seduction and Ecstasy. And I do also believe these are 2 books in one of her series, and they were the only 2 that I was able to find. Oh, I should be showing you guys the step backs in these, because that's like half of the best part, right? Let's look at these Shelley Thacker ones. And then this one. Okay, and then I got a couple Johanna Lindsay's. I got Man of My Dreams and Prisoner of My Desire, Until Forever, the beautiful foiling, and then Heart of a Warrior. And I really like the cover on this one. And it's got this step back. And then I picked up a couple of Rexanne Becknells, and these covers are so pretty. Like, look how beautiful this is with the dove and the border. Oh, I just love it. This one's called A Dove at Midnight. And then we've got Dangerous to Love. This one, oh, it does have a setback. And then The Bride of Rosecliff. These covers are just so pretty with a border here. And then I did find some Laurie McBain, which I was super, super excited about because I cannot wait to read these. We've got Moonstruck Madness with this beautiful wraparound cover. Wild Bells to the Wild Sky. I just love these covers. They're just so pretty and detailed. And then When the Splendor Falls. And these books are really heavy. Like these Laurie McBain ones are like super heavy. And then I got a couple of Teresa Medeiros, Lady of Conquest. Charming the Prince, which this cover is just so pretty. And then Yours Until Dawn. And then I got one by Kathleen Woodowis. It's Forever in Your Embrace. And then I only got one by Judith McNaught because they did not have a lot of choices for her. So I got Until You. And this one unfortunately does not have a step back. So I'm gonna have to keep on the hunt for more Judith McNaught books. I got one by Loretta Chase, which is Silk is for Seduction. Cat hair. Then I got one by Thea Devine, and this is Southern Seduction. And it's all the way wrapped around. It's so pretty. And then I got three by Cecilia Grant. I believe these are all in one series. A Woman Entangled, A Gentleman Undone, and A Lady Awakened. So I'm pretty sure those are all three in one series. And the last two are by Charis Michaels. The first is Say Yes to the Princess. And then The Earl Next Door. Those are all of the books that I got on my book adventures yesterday. Unfortunately, I did not find Gold by Raven Kennedy. I'm super, super sad about that. I asked my mom to look for it, so we'll see if she can find it, but I wasn't able to find it. It's actually these editions right here, if you can see with these drippy. I just need one. I just need one, that's it. Oh, update. So I did finish A Court of Thorns and Roses last night. I obviously loved it. Tam Tam is something else, you know, Tam Tam. I can't wait to see Reese again. I can't wait to get in the second book because the next two are my favorite. The next two are my favorite, so I can't wait. I can't wait to get into the nitty gritty and for Feyre to go to Night Court. So excited about that. So I did finish Court of Thorns and Roses, and I gave it 4 stars, which is the same rating that I gave it last time I read it. Then I picked up Early Sunday Morning, which is the Dear America book about Pearl Harbor. I am probably, now mind you, this is a middle grade, reads really, really fast. I'm probably like 50 to 75 pages into it. We are just getting introduced to our main female character, Amber Billows. She is 12 years old. And her father is a journalist, and her mother, her brother, they all live in Washington, D.C. And the first journal entry, we find out that they're moving again. So with her father's journalist job, they have moved around several times. This time around, they are moving to Hawaii. So Amber is obviously very upset about this because she is tired of moving during the middle of the school year. She just wants to start school the same day that other kids start. And she is rarely able to do this. So she's upset about it. She's upset about leaving her friends. Her brother is disappointed because there are no baseball teams in Hawaii, which I can understand that. Especially since There's no television yet. This is in the early 40s, so there's no television. There's no like easy way for him to watch a game except like going there or listening to it on the radio. They have moved to Hawaii, and Amber has gone to school. She's already made a friend. This really nice girl went up to her on her first day and said, hey, if you need help with classes and homework, like I'm willing to help you. Things aren't the same if you're confused. So I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. Like to have, I'm a really nervous person. Like to have enough confidence in yourself to like go up to somebody and be like, hey, I know you're new, welcome. I can help you if you need help. Like that's just so sweet to me. So that's basically where we're at in the book. As of right now, it's it's November of 1941. So November of 1941 is where we're at in the timeline, and they have just gone to Hawaii maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. So they're still getting settled in, and Amber talks about her dad going to play golf every Sunday with like business partners and finding out information. So obviously liking it so far. And then I am almost done with All That Remains by Patricia Cornwell. So I listened to it in my drive yesterday and then some today. And I have probably less than an hour left. I'm not sure. I am 90% of the way through All That Remains. I have about an hour left in that book. So we're continuing to follow Kay and Detective Moreno around. They're finding out more information. The FBI is finally becoming more willing to like work with them and not being super secretive. But they just arrested a suspect for a different crime than the actual murder, so that maybe they could find evidence of the murders. So we're gonna see where that goes. But this book is definitely more political and definitely more like conspiracy forward than the other two books have been. So this one gets a little bit more in depth, a little bit more twisty turny. This book has more like the investigative side of it, like running down leads and trying to find more information and making guesses and having hypotheses about what's going on, etc., than the other two have. The other two have been really focused on the person going after Kay and that whole deal, like her not being safe. So this is a little bit more like investigative and following the lead, kind of those types of things. So I'm still enjoying it. I'm so glad that I like this series more than I thought I would. I'm just so glad that I do. So I will check back in once I have finished All That Remains, and I'm probably gonna finish early Sunday morning, either today or tomorrow, depending on how much time I have for reading today, because I'm about to go to the gym and then I have to sand my bookshelves down. That's my goal, is at least to get them sanded and cleaned off today. So we'll see how far I get into that. Anyway, I will check back in with you a little bit later. All right, guys, we are here to close out this magical readathon vlog. I do have my coffee this morning. I did finish both All That Remains and Every Sunday Morning. So let's start off with All That Remains by Patricia Cornwell. Last time I updated, we were talking about Kay and Moreno trying to solve this crime, or these crimes. They did find the guy, and the reason that they didn't think it was him to begin with, where there were some issues with his DNA. During this time, DNA was new. It took a really long time for them to run people's DNA. It wasn't fast like it is nowadays. And it wasn't very widespread. So they had to send the sample off to whichever like state lab or federal lab or whoever it was to actually run the DNA. And then it took weeks for them to run it. Well, there were some issues with that, and that's how the guy sort of got away with it, but he didn't actually get away with it in the end. There were some other twists and turns with the daughter who was murdered. The mom, the political figure, she was more involved, and she honestly kind of went crazy because of the death of her daughter. And of course, Kay was extremely affected by some of the things that happened in the end. She just can't escape being personally targeted in every single one of these books. It just doesn't seem possible for her to only be a medical examiner. She was always personally targeted. So I mean, obviously it's fiction, it's a book. You want to be invested and you want to care about the characters, so I get it, but it's just not real world, you know what I mean? But I still enjoyed the story, even though the ending was a little convoluted, which, I mean, I work in forensics, so I get it. Like, it makes sense to me, but it was just a little convoluted there at the end. And also, I was listening to the audiobook, and I think I may have like zoned out for a little bit, but like I got the gist of what was going on, so it's totally fine. But I did enjoy the book. I would obviously recommend this series if you like these types of books, or if you enjoy those types of stories, etc. So I gave All That Remains 3.75 stars. Good rating. I think that's what I've rated all of the books so far in this series. And I will definitely be continuing on next month in May with Cruel and Unusual. And then I went ahead and finished Early Sunday Morning. I was about halfway through. This is a super short book. It's only like 150 pages or whatever, and the margins are large and the writing is big. It's a middle grade book, so it took me no time to get through this, but I enjoyed the story. It does end abruptly. However, that's the point of it, right? That Amber, she starts these journals every time she moves. So it ended abruptly because they were moving again. We got to the day that the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. They were obviously very affected by this because they lived pretty close to Pearl Harbor. Their mom was previously a nurse, so as soon as like on the radio broadcast they called out for any medical personnel to go to the hospital, the mom left the two kids in the house. And mind you, they're not young. The oldest brother was 16 and she's 12, so they're not, you know, babies, but still very frightening because their dad was gone. He was playing golf with his buddies because it was Sunday and he played golf on Sundays. They were rather frightened. So from then on, Amber accompanied her mom to the hospital and was helping out there. And the brother would go with the dad to do like investigate and like help people out and do whatever they could. Some of their friends were more affected than others by what happened. Amber's friend that she met at school, the really nice girl who offered to help her with her studies, she was Japanese, and so her family was targeted after the bombings, and her whole family was affected by all of that, and they ended up getting shipped off. Her whole family ended up getting shipped off to Arkansas because they were Japanese. So there's that storyline to that. At the end of the book, the father decides that they're all going to evacuate Hawaii because they don't know what's going on with, now that the United States is involved in the war, and with Japan already attacking Hawaii, they were evacuating residents, especially women and children. So the dad decided that they didn't actually need to be there, that they were all going to evacuate and leave Hawaii. So that was why the book ended, because she was moving again and she was done with that journal, that diary. It was a good story. Definitely brought back some nostalgic vibes because I loved these. Obviously it didn't hit like it would with a middle grader because I'm an adult, and you obviously can't talk about a lot of adult things in a middle grade book. I mean, there were some adult themes in here just because of the nature of the story, but you know, it's a middle grade book. It's not I'm not the intended audience for this, but I still enjoyed it and I liked reading it. My copies are still in the attic. I won't be getting rid of those at all, so. But I gave Early Sunday Morning 4 stars, mostly for nostalgic vibes. There's no reason for me to give this a bad rating since it's a really good book. So 4 stars for Every Sunday Morning. So that concludes this Spring Equinox Magical Readathon reading vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm glad that I passed this semester, mostly with the help of some scrolls, because I just have a lot of books on my TBR this month, and I didn't want to risk failing Magical Readathon because I had just too many books to read. Maybe I should dial back the number of like reading vlogs and projects that I'm working on, but it's hard because I want to do so many fun things on YouTube and I want to read all of the books, and I just don't have time for all of it. So I'm just, you know, doing the best that I can. And for this semester, for Magical Readathon, I read 4 books instead of 6, but you know, that's still, 4 books is still a lot. Made it through, got it done, passed this spring semester, so excited about that. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I've got some really fun reading vlogs coming up. I've got a book haul coming up and some other fun reading content. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on those videos, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.